Thank you. I rise on behalf of the opposition to speak on this bill, and I wish at the outset to thank the honourable member for bringing this bill with its very important subject matter to the attention of the House. The bill was drafted in the wake of the High Court's decision in Bird and DP and seeks to respond to that decision and consider more broadly the issue of institutional responsibility for child sexual abuse. I'm aware from an answer provided to this House on the 11th of February this year that the implications of this decision are being considered by the government in the context of the findings and recommendations of the Royal Commission into institutional responses to child sexual abuse, and that work involves weighing the implications of any potential reform, as well as closely monitoring legislative developments in other jurisdictions. From the communiqué of the Standing Council of Attorneys General of the 21st of February, it is clear that this work is continuing. The Council noted the implications of the decision in Bird and DP and its relationship to current approaches in Australian states and territories, including New South Wales, to institutional liability for child sexual abuse. The Attorneys General further agreed to work together to consider potential reform options. It is appropriate that this is a national and considered approach because this is a national issue, and it is important that this is an issue which is clearly under active consideration. And in this respect, this bill may be premature, anticipating as it does the national coordinated response which will emerge from the work of the Standing Council of Attorneys General. It is appropriate that this issue is subject to careful consideration, which builds on that careful consultative work engaged in over a period of some years by the Royal Commission into institutional responses to child sexual abuse. We are proud as a coalition of our response to the report of that Royal Commission and the legislative changes we introduced as a result. These changes followed extensive stakeholder consultation, especially with survivors of institutional abuse. Such consultation is an important part of any legislative change in this space. By introducing Section 6F and 6H to the Civil Liability Act, we, for the first time, imposed on organisations a duty of care to take reasonable precautions to prevent associated individuals from abusing children. We also legislated so that organisations are now subject to a statutory vicarious liability for child abuse perpetrated by employees. And we went even further to ensure that the obligations of that statutory vicarious liability in respect of institutional abuse now extend not just to employees, but also those whose status is akin to that of employees. This will include clergy and volunteers such as scout leaders and school helpers. These legal changes implemented key recommendations of the Royal Commission, and as recommended by that Royal Commission at Recommendation 93, these were implemented as prospective, not retrospective obligations. We continue to be committed to the protection of children and look forward to working collegially to consider the fruits of the work currently being undertaken by the Standing Council of Attorneys General.